Well, as a youth, I had a good head of hair, really. I could almost sit on it, you know, hippie times. In the beginning of my 20s, it sort of started to recede a little bit and, you know, thin out a little bit. But it was not anything, you know, that gave me any problems, and I could still go on stage with my own hair, and so, you know, everything was fine until at the age of 31 I was engaged to do a major role in a musical at the Hamburg State Opera, actually at the ballet. And I went to New York to train, so I would look physically fit and I could, you know, sing and dance at the same time without any problems. And I trained very, very hard for this. And when I came to Hamburg, Dr.Mazhar, who was the choreographer and the director of the show, said, "Oh, you look fantastic, and you know, everything is fine, and when you get your makeup and your toupee, everything will be fine." And I was like, okay, toupee time. I wasn't really ready for this. You know, it was something that I thought, oh God, this is for 50 and 60-year-old people, or, you know, even older. But I could see that the hairpiece that they gave me really took about 5 or 10 years off my appearance, and it worked for the show because I had to be in a company with the average age of about 19, and I didn't want to be, you know, granddad in front of them. So I danced and sang with the toupee, and it was fine. And I was a little bit worried about it because obviously there were other parts in which I had to look young and agile and so on and so forth, but there were no techniques, good techniques for hair transplant at the time. I was 31 at the time, and it's quite a while ago, unfortunately. And everybody who had a transplant looked like a doll with small dots of hair coming out of their head, you know, and it looked ridiculous. And I really didn't want to do that. So I sort of succumbed to the idea that when my forehead had really, you know, gone beyond the top of my head, I would simply shave off the rest of my hair, and that would be it, and then be in wigland. But now it's different. You know, there is the FUE technique, which is single hair transplant or a single hair follicle transplant, and it really works very well. I did musical here. I directed a musical some years back in which the main character had just had a full hair transplant, and he's a very good friend, a very old friend, and he really looked nice with his new hair. He kept on nagging me and teasing me a little bit about my professor forehead, as he called me, and whether I should not have this done. And so I went on a couple of blogs on the webs, you know, to try and inform myself, and figured out. And I stumbled upon Mazhar Hussain's My Hair Clinic, where one could get a whip consultation for free. You know, you take some pictures of your front, of your top, and on the back, and so on and so forth, and you send in the pictures, and he will then get back to you and tell you whether it's a good idea or whether it's not a good idea, and so on and so forth. And he did very quickly, and said that I had a good possibility of really having a nice head of hair. So I took a deep breath and went to his wonderful clinic in Islamabad, which also has some wonderful accommodation possibilities. There are some very nice rooms with private bathroom and television, everything you can, you know, want for luxury hotel style, really. And had a lot of hair put into my forehead. And I was amazed, actually, at the very limited discomfort during the operation. Obviously, you are locally anesthetized, so you don't feel anything, but even during the night there was hardly any discomfort whatsoever. And you know, after a few months I had a really nice head of hair again, and I'm really happy with it. You can do, I mean, I could do everything with it, you know, comb it to one side to the other side, and it looked like it grows like my own hair, and it bleaches when it's sun, and so on and so forth. So it's really perfect. And I think that if people think, and I cannot imagine that anybody, any man losing his hair does not think to himself, God, I wish I had the full head of hair that I had in my youth. There's only one thing to say, and that is, go do it, really. You really won't regret it.